So, hi everyone. We are Group 3 presenting the case law on the case study patent valuation. First, let me shortly debrief about the case. So, the company Schneider GmbH is a small startup company specializing in development, manufacturing, and distribution of machines used in trenchless pipe laying processes. Such processes have multiple advantages. The advantage is that they are cost efficient and technology used is very environmentally friendly. The company has a patent portfolio with few granted patents and some patent applications in multiple jurisdictions. Even though the company had a good start, they have been struggling with building the efficient and strong distribution network. Therefore, the managing shareholder decided to dispose of the stocks without wanting to having additional or any other financing source. The potential buyer in question is Bauma AG, a manufacturer of construction equipment, and Bauma AG has now appointed Mr. Q as a head of IP management, as a patent evaluator, and they have assigned him with a task of evaluating the patent in question. So the method that should be used in this matter is the relief from royalty method. The equation is set on this slide. You can see that there are multiple parameters that are taken in question. For example, the turnover, then the reference parameter in relation to cash flow modeling. This is dependent on various criteria such as technological criteria, technological implementation, portfolio of the company, as well as the competition-related criteria. Furthermore, the royalty rate, which is basically self-explanatory. The next parameter is the asset-specific risk, meaning the risk assessment, which will be further developed and explained in the next slides. And the cost assessment, which also needs to be taken into consideration, cost assessment in relation to portfolio maintenance and corporate tax. Last but not least, the assessment of business-related basic parameters, meaning the weighted average cost of capital, which has been calculated here. It will be presented by the colleagues. And this is the T in the equation in the last row is in relation to the estimation of useful life, which is also to be taken in consideration when applying this equation.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Okay. So to understand better the context, so we need to understand better the context for us to create a proper valuation. So we need to assess the useful life of the patent portfolio using these following factors. So we have maintenance, duration of usage, and if necessary, we can consider product life cycle or technology life cycle. Okay, so the duration of maintenance of a patent is used to determine the maximum useful life. And this has an average of 8 years. While the duration of usage is usually shorter than the duration of maintenance, and the average usage of patent is 3 to 5 years. If, however, this duration of usage is not clear, we can approximate through product life cycle. So this defines the stages that the product moves through in the market. So these stages can be broken down into 4. So you have the introduction or the beginning, growth, maturity, and the decline stage. If, however, product life cycle don't seem appropriate, so we can use technology life cycles for the assessment of useful life. So this technology life cycle defines how the technology and its processes affect the business processes. And the progression of technology is seen to advance slowly at first and then accelerate and inevitably declines, similar to an S curve shape. So, for this valuation, it is observed that the maximum maintenance period for the patents is 11 years or more. And since we don't have enough information for the duration of usage, so we will use the product life cycle. And for this scenario, so the product life cycle is at the beginning. So this is supported by the non-action of the competitors. And it is assumed that the development of substitutes will take 6 years or longer. Based on these reasons, so Mr. Q estimates the patent portfolio useful life to be 6 years. Okay, next slide, please.
Okay, thank you. And now it comes to the discussion in regard to detection of relevant sales. So as Jana mentioned, Schneider has 6 patents. We have one patent that is addressing to the horizontal drilling machine, and the others are relevant for spare parts. Nevertheless, it's also informed that the patents cover processes and services. Additionally, we have an analysis and confirmation from the PALMA that there is a complementarity in regard to the patents and the service and technologies that they use and they provide to the market. And according to the relevant part of the patent or the path of the product that is under protection of patents, and considering these two categories, as I mentioned before, so the AHD and the spare parts, we have approximately 75% of the relevant sales related to the EHD and 85% of the relevant sales for the spare parts drilling machine. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So now we can evaluate the royalty rate. So we need to start with a comparable license rate in the domain. We know that the construction equipment is between 2 and 3%, while for the drilling machine is 6%, and for the spare part is about 4 to 4.5%. So we assume that the patent portfolio with an average quality and technology should command a license rate of 4%. Then we need to score the patent portfolio of Schneider using the 6 criteria with a low score of 0.8 to the higher score of 1.2. As the product and the process is fully implemented, we scored 1.2 for the scalability. The technology life cycle is at the beginning, so the score is 1.1. As the competitor didn't take action for the substitute in legal point of view, we used the higher score of 1.2. As the portfolio of Schneider is mainly about spare part and functional unit, the score is 1.1. As the technology is assumed as a key selling proposition, once again is the higher score of 1.2. And as the only few attributes covered by the competitor portfolio, the score is 1.1. Then when we are summing up these 6 scores, we have a point of 6.9, and using a simple linear scoring model, we arrive at a royalty rate of 5.5%.
Here, it's about the legal risk aspects. The legal risks represent, in the end, factors which diminish the effectivity of the patents as forbidding rights, and are in the end in decreasing or diminishing the value of the patent. Here are 7 types of legal risks listed with default discounts. These default discounts are typical values in this specific branch. And starting with the first legal risk, countries and status of the patent, which is about the country coverage of the patent portfolio and the legal status of the patents. In this case, the default discount has been reduced a little bit, since the portfolio covers all the relevant markets for the company: Germany, France, and the UK. And therefore, yeah, the effectivity is relatively high, so just 1% discount on the 5. The second is the ownership or contractual issues. Here it's about whether the owner of the patent, in this case Schneider, has all the rights on the patents. In this case, all patents belong 200% to Schneider. So the default discount has been reduced significantly. There's just 2% left, which could be argued by some specific issues in German patent law, that maybe some inventors still have rights, and so there might be a residual risk of 2%. The patentability and invalidity, here it's about the what regards the patentability, about the chance that an application gets granted, or with view on the invalidity, whether a patent being in force can be invalidated by third party. And in this case, the default discount has been enhanced to 28%, since there are still many patents in application phase, so patentability is quite is questionable. And by the way, 2 patents being still in application seem to be quite weak, since there is not yet a subsequent application existing. The freedom to operate is in the end the possibility for Schneider or Bauma to exploit to use the patents, or to commercialize the products based on these patents. It refers to third-party patents, which could forbid Schneider to commercialize the products. In this case, the default value has been increased to 10%, because the risk is can be seen lower. On the one hand, Schneider is a technology leader and in a very specific market, so the risk that third party have critical IP is can be regarded as lower. On the one hand, on the other hand, there is no information existing about infringements of Schneider, and furthermore, it's, the company has a significant patent pool, which can let's say be used as a potential to counter strike against a company which asserts Schneider due to an infringement. So lower risk in this case. The scope of protection is very well in line with the components and processes. So it's in this case this standard risk has been kept with 7%. Circumvention breadth, it's about the risk that a competitor is developing an alternative with a similar customer benefit. In this case, it's this risk is quite low. It's quite lower than standard in this branch, because the patents are not only oriented on the technical on the technical features of the machines, but on the service with a certain level of quality and precision, and by being relatively broad. Sorry. And the last legal risk is the detectability of infringement enforceability. So if you cannot see at a product whether patent of Schneider is infringed or not. It's very hard to enforce the patents. In this case, since it's about hardware and let's say visible features, it's very easy to get evidence about an infringement, and therefore the risk factor has been reduced to 10%. And if we now sum up all these 7 risk factors in a formula like you'll see below on this slide, we come up with 43% total legal risk.
So now we have a table that gathers all the data we have from the case, the data that is given, and the other data that is calculated. And we apply the method, the lift from royalty method, to calculate the portfolio value. So we all start with the total revenue that is given for the 6 years. We apply the relevant sales that is calculated as being 75% for HBM and 85% for spare parts. So apply this to get the total relevant sales for both spare parts and HBM, and sum up and get the values ranging from 19,575 to 31,558 for the 6th year. And then we apply the risk factor that is calculated to be 43 to obtain the risk-adjusted relevant sales ranging from 8,117 to 13,570. And after that, we calculated the total license fees by applying the royalty rate that is calculated to be 5.5%. So samely here we calculated for HDM and for spare parts, and with some so we get 463 to 746 at the 6th year. Once we have this, we deduce the costs to get that are given for the case, their case ranging from 7.2 for the 1st year to 6.3 for the 6th year. So we get the total license fees after costs, and then we take into account the tax rate of the company that is given in the case to be 28.8% to get the total license fees after tax. And now, as we have all these values for the 6 years, we just apply the discounting by taking into account the WACC rate that is given to be 12%. So we calculate the factors ranging from 0.89 to 0.51 for the 6th year, with values the present values of the license fees calculated to be from the 289 to 267. We sum all these values for the 6 years to get the value of 2,205. And then at the end, we use the setup factor that is given for the case to be 1.25 to get the total value of the portfolio, which is 2,757. Thank you.